Hi, my name is Meraz from Juris Digital, and today we're going to be talking about law firm marketing strategies and some tactics that you can use. Recently, I was asked by a potential client, what do I have to do to really dominate my entire market? And there's a lot that goes into that, and there's a lot of different thoughts. And what I wanted to do was kind of walk through, in general, what that plan would look like and the attitude and approach I think you need to have to be successful with that. So, if you're serious about dominating your market, there's definitely some hurdles that we have to overcome. First is just in local search. If you're searching from point A or point B, you're probably going to see different results unless your firm really controls the authority and relevant signals for an entire geographic area. And in addition to that, there's other hurdles you need to overcome. We know search is localized. We know Google changes their algorithm. We know there's plenty of spam in map results, and we know it's very competitive. And not only that, we really have to overcome what's been done, but also really think in the future and future proof against what other people are going to be working on month after month. And you combine all that together, and your Google also considers you a YMYL site, your money, your life, essentially, is what that means. And that basically means for search results that are going to affect your life or the money that you're spending, they're putting a lot more scrutiny into that. And so even though there is spam and things like that, it only works for a season typically. And that's why it really benefits you to do things the right way. So ultimately, what you want to do, the overarching theme of what we're going to be talking about today, is become the obvious choice in your market. And I put this screenshot up here because this is clearly not the obvious choice. This is a spam listing that was currently ranking, but it gave me some laughter this morning, so I wanted to share that. So if you were to ask me, how would I market a law firm? And we're really talking about the strategy standpoint, the high level, along with some tactics. This is what I'm going to tell you if you want to dominate your market. Getting started, I think the mindset is important. You really need to know that you need to focus on quality for everything that you deliver, and ask yourself, is what I'm producing exceptional? Is it better than what's out there? And more importantly, from your eyes, is from your potential customers' eyes. Do they think so? Is it helpful for them? Is it written in legal jargon where they can't even understand it? When you're, talking to a blue collar worker that's been injured and is just looking for a personal injury attorney, think about your audience, okay? And then niche in as much as possible as well. So a bad strategy would be, I want to dominate everywhere for everything. That's going to be difficult because now you're fighting a million people as opposed to a very small subset. So the more that you can niche in, the better. And you really need to build trust, and you need people to understand that you're the expert in the field. And those are some of the things we're going to touch on today so you can understand how you can do that. And starting off, one thing that I think we as marketers, SEOs in particular, tend to not put enough emphasis on is starting with your brand. Okay, I worked with a lawyer years ago who would change his logo weekly, essentially. And, he never really built a brand, a name for his firm. So you really have to start there. And this example from Peter Wood from the Hucksters, I thought was kind of cool. He sent it over to me for a campaign that he was thinking about doing. But in this example, it's the name of attorney. Motorcycle Michael doesn't exist, but that's very specific. This attorney does motorcycle accidents, and you know his name. That would be something you could build a brand around. And it's very niched in as well. So your brand is more than your logo, though, and your firm name and your website. It's every interaction customers have with you. And unless you're delighting your customers, you're never really going to get to the point where you have true brand advocates. But in addition to that, your brand is your firm name. Make sure that it's memorable, that that people can remember it, and that you can build expertise around your brand. And the domain name can match that. And as an internet marketer, I'm always leaning towards more exact match type keyword type domains because they still provide some benefit. But Motorcycle Michael, then you get the keyword and the brand. That's just that example. There's plenty of other examples to go about this. And then your logo, of course, that should be the same everywhere. We're talking about quality and unique photos. This is one of the areas that most attorneys lack in. Maybe they'll take firm photos like of their attorneys, but it's very rare that they go further than that. And I think that's a problem because you need to have unique photos. And we're going to talk about the benefit of that a little bit later in this presentation. And then also it's how your staff treats your callers and clients. If I'm calling in to figure out if I have a case and you say, oh, no, I can't help you. Sorry, sorry. And then hang up on them. And you're kind of rude and short because obviously your time is precious. That's going to hurt your brand. There's keyboard warriors now. They can go online and leave a 1-star review for your brand. So if you're doing that, you got to stop. Okay. I think you're going to see a lot more benefit from being proactive and helping people, even though it's painful sometimes, because some of the firms I work with get active reviews from clients because they're just being nice to people and helping them. And then being consistent everywhere. Use brand folder if you have to. Put all your brand assets, your logos, your typesets, your fonts, just everything in brand folder, for example, and share that amongst anybody that's going to be using that. Online, offline, combine that. Work to build this up. And, social brand building is also important. It depends on your practice area, of course, but if you're in business law, you could create LinkedIn text ads, for example, or Facebook video ads, which we're going to talk about, and just get people aware of your brand. There's no benefit in being the best kept secret. You need to build your brand if you want the best cases. You need to be recognized as the best firm if you want the best cases. So it's also important to get the basics right. And so some guidelines for success are, I have to say this, but answer your phone promptly and every time. Respond to all leads in seconds. I think that's probably one of the biggest areas of missed opportunity for people that are involved in online marketing is they think, oh, I got an email. Emails, I'll respond to it in an hour, 2 hours, or a day, or 2 days. And the fact is, if people are shopping online, they may not be visiting only your website. They may go to other websites. So promptness will really win that sale for you. So you got to be courteous and helpful to everyone, and don't just assume every call is being answered. Look at your CRM data. Just because you have good people doesn't mean that somebody shouldn't be responsible for auditing that. Are these phone calls actually being answered? Are these leads actually being returned on time? Look at your CRM. Is it minutes? Is it hours? Is it days? You need to look at the data. And I think that's just really key for anyone involved in any type of marketing these days, because people want their solution quickly. They don't want to just wait around for it. So starting off, make sure you have the right infrastructure. A couple of the tools that I would recommend is a WordPress-based website. I say that because it's the most common content management system in the world, which means that most developers can work on it if you have a problem. It also means that you probably own your website. Don't go with companies that own your website. FineLaw and Scorpion still do that, where they have the proprietary content management system. So if you leave, you're not taking your website with you. And if they allow you to take it with you, it's not easily editable. It's not all going to function the same way. And that's kind of a trick that people still fall for these days. You got to make sure you own your own Google Analytics data. That's the data that shows when people are visiting your website, where they're coming from, how long they're spending, what pages they're contacting you from, et cetera. And Google Search Console, which is really going to give you the data you need to have an effective SEO campaign. So CallRail is a service we use for call tracking. We track text messages, we track calls, and we want to know if they're answered. We want to know how long they are. And we want to know what page of the website generated that call. So using CallRail is important for that. Live chat, I think, some law firms are hit or miss on this. Again, I'm approaching this from the mindset of you want to dominate everything. Well, let's do everything that's going to benefit your firm. And live chat's going to be in that list. And then to the next level, campaign building, email marketing. This is where a lot of firms fall short. I'd say like 99%, where they're not doing anything after that initial contact. And that's another problem too, just since I'm talking about this real quickly, as far as intake is concerned. If you get a lead and that was your only contact and they didn't call you back, don't sit around and wait for it. You need to be more proactive with those leads. You need to reach out to them again. And there's ways to automate that through drip campaigns. And this is especially true in certain niches too. So if you're, again, on, family law, for example, that might be something that you can do more discreetly, like, reasons you need to talk to a lawyer about a divorce or whatever that is. Or business law would be a great example, but we even do it for personal injury. Again, most people don't do it. And these leads can circle back. Maybe they wanted to contact you right then, but then you called and they were at work and then they forgot and whatever else happened. Life happens, things get dropped. And just by following up with a gentle nudge or reminding them that your brand is there to help them with their pain points is going to be huge. So that's where these drip campaigns can really become effective. And, have a CRM for this. Track this stuff. Never really let somebody go. If you're doing a community initiative 2 years later and they opted for your email list, reach out to them. Tell them about it. Ask them if their friends need any help as well. So next, I want to talk about your website. Your website is basically your online office. And when people are building websites, sometimes they take a lot of shortcuts. And by shortcuts, I mean let's try to figure out a cost savings. But really, your website isn't a cheap asset. It's your office. Do you make your office look nice? Do you want your office to look nice for potential clients? You probably do. And your website is that office that's going to sign your clients. So when you take shortcuts by buying cheap themes, there's definitely issues with that, typically around page load time, or you use a website builder like Wix or Squarespace. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You need to spend the money and do your website the right way. And it's not saying that you have to spend a ton of money, because there are websites out there, themes that are fast loading, that look good, that'll accomplish this. But if you want to be the best, you really do have to put in that time and customization. So first of all, speed focused. It's a ranking factor, but that's not even the most important part. It's a user experience factor. If your website on my mobile device takes more than a second to load, I'm pretty much gone. And Google's judging those speeds right now under 2.5 seconds on 4G networks. So faster is better. And next is ADA compliance and GDPR compliance. So there's a lot of ADA compliant websites right now, making sure that disabled people have the ability to view your website. If you want to remain risk averse and you want to future proof yourself, you need to be ADA compliant. Obviously, if your website is accessible in the EU, you need to be worried about GDPR compliance. And you need to have easy contact forms. It needs to be easy for people to reach out to you. So that means a click to call on your phone, a live chat, a contact form. Make it easy for a text message, whatever that person is looking to do, and how they want to contact you. And next is kind of implementing schema. There's FAQ schema, which we'll look at here in a minute. It'll give you more visibility in organic search results, is why you need to take advantage of it. But also local business schema, and any type that really revolves around your firm, and it's going to be relevant too. Because Google, as they shifted to more recognizing entities, it's important that Google recognizes your brand and associates it with different entities. Personal injury lawyer or car accident, whatever that is. And you got to focus on user experience. A pretty website, if it looks good to you, is cool, but if it's not converting visitors, it's not helping anybody. And every page on your website, really, if I was starting from scratch or working with an existing website, I would say every page has to have a trackable goal. Is the goal to build the authority of your website and earn links? Is that goal to convert clients? Is it to get people to build trust in you and sign up for your email list? Have a goal for every page on your website. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about attorney profiles, another area of opportunities that a lot of people miss out on. Again, we talked about that professional custom photography. You need that. Custom video is something we're going to touch heavily on here in a few minutes. But people need to know you. They need to know what's it going to be like working with this client. And they also are going to look for some of the superficial things that may not mean anything. Awards, for example, Avvo 10 rating. We know that means nothing, but consumers don't. And Avvo has a big search presence. Past case results, even though they're not indicative of future results, we can highlight some of those areas. It'll help people relate to that. And then, obviously a well-written bio and client testimonials, case studies, videos showing clients that have been in a similar situation, how you helped them, how you solved those pain points. Next, I want to talk a little bit about social. As SEOs, we tend to hate on social. Social has a place, and there is a good place for it. And again, if you want to be everywhere your potential clients are looking, you need to be on social. And that's typically, for most law firms, you're going to match your brand profiles and focus on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube. And all of these serve a different purpose, which we're going to talk more about. But right now, let's just say, hey, we need to be consistent on all these profiles. Good. Now let's move on and really talk about your website again. And the website content is the next area I wanted to touch on, because your practice area pages might generate millions in revenue. Why would you try to nickel and dime somebody or get a cheaper writer for a page that somebody's going to land on and make a decision on whether or not to contact you? I am at a loss of words of all the conversations I've had over the years about this, where people want to pay $100 for this page of content, whereas if they spent $1,000 and made that the best, most comprehensive, or $2,000, whatever that costs, they would get more clients. And not only would they get more clients, they'd get better clients. You're going to be attracting those people that might put in that level of scrutiny and just say, hey, I want to work with somebody who's really going to have my site that I want to trust, as opposed to, oh, well, there's some information here. I'll contact him, but I'm not really knowing what's going on. So I'm going to call him every 10 minutes or whatever. Bad client. Don't want that. So 10x content every page. Be helpful at that content. Be informative. Solve their problems. What are your clients' pain points? Identify those, relate to them, show them how you're going to help them, and make it easy. You'll have that in written text. You'll have it with custom video, custom graphics. Focus on the quality over the quantity. I once worked with an attorney who wanted 2 blog posts a day, every day, 365 days a year. And that was his metric of success. And that was a terrible metric of success. Did you know having more content that doesn't rank or get traffic actually lowers the quality of your website? If those pages aren't earning links, they're probably shooting you in the foot. In fact, a lot of attorneys could probably benefit from pruning a ton of content from their websites because it's probably one of the main factors their website's tanking. Now that rant's over, include testimonials and case studies. Again, show people how you're going to help them. Think about your client. Think about that user. What are they looking for? And then when you have that content, we're going to repurpose that. Put that into ebooks. Have them available for download if they subscribe to your email list. Publish that to Amazon. Show people that you're a published author. People relate that to expertise. And if they see that you're the expert, again, I'm probably more likely to contact you. So we're talking about touch points as well. Also, you got to get great videos. We use Crisp. We refer some work to them. They do a really good job for high quality video. It's not cheap, but what they do is different than a lot of firms. Is they're really focused on that storytelling. Tell your story. You have a story to tell. Why did you become a lawyer? What have you done? How are you helping people? And people hear about this and they're going to relate to that. And they're going to say, I want to hire that lawyer. I want the best lawyer. So also getting client testimonials on relevant pages. If you have a truck accident page, go through and create a video from a happy client that worked through that you helped solve their problems in a truck accident case and what that outcome was. Firm overview videos are great, even if they get little engagement. And that's the big problem I see with videos is that a lot of them aren't getting a lot of engagement because they're kind of like, oh, this is our firm. This is what we do. This is us, instead of that story. So if you're doing that firm overview, a company like Crisp can really help you tell that story, your brand story. And that'll be at the heart of everything you do moving forward. So you also do want short answer videos. You want long ones. And that's going to be used for YouTube. Some of those will be repurposed on your website using Wistia. But also geo-specific videos. I think the more videos you can have generally, the better if they're of high quality, because there's a lot of different ways we can use those for marketing. One, of course, is on your website. Two is, of course, the second biggest search engine, YouTube. We can use it in video ads. And for brand awareness, we can use it on Facebook and only pay for plays that play all the way through. And so basically, we're getting all this brand exposure for not a lot of money. Very cheap. People are going to see you. And obviously, if you're doing any offline marketing, TV advertising, and things like that, this should all tie together. So make sure to group all these together. And what I love most is local and organic SEO. So that's what I talk about the most in most videos I make. But I'll go through this pretty quickly. Ranking in organic and local search results can be the main driver of your business. And it's something that's going to provide a lot of value for you. But it's also important to remember at the end of the day that Google's in control of that algorithm. They can change it. And while our clients have had a lot of success because they do things the right way and invest this time and effort, they typically remain on top, right? But at the end of the day, Google can change things or tweak things, and there might be some lapse in ranking. So that's why you also really want to think about that domination. If I want to dominate, should I only be involved in this, all of my eggs in one basket, or should I diversify? And of course, the correct business answer is you should diversify, and you should build your brand, and people should refer you business and all of this as well. And we'll talk about non-search methods here in a minute as well. But make search a core of what you're doing because it's so much opportunity here. And if you want to excel in search, this is what we call inbound marketing. People are already looking for you, right? And they can click on the paid results at the top. They can click on the local results underneath or the organic results there. And it just depends on what they're typing in. But to excel in organic search results, every page you create on your website must have a linkable asset. Is it informative? That's one way. That could be the linkable asset. Maybe you created an infographic or a video or something that was useful. And in general, if you wanted to dominate search, you would have a website where every page has links from authoritative sources linking back to you, because that is still a major ranking factor, and it's the one that most people don't put any focus on. And what that equates to from a tactical perspective is hundreds of hours of link outreach. If you're going to cheap on anything, don't cheap on link building, don't cheap on content. Actually, don't cheap on anything that I've said so far, unless you want to be penalized or reduced in your search rankings in the future. Really, you want to become the recognized authority. So again, we talked about Motorcycle Joe. What if you built that brand for yourself in your market? Okay, become the only choice. Don't publish content you're not going to promote. Like I talked about that attorney that published 2 blog posts every single day. Readership was like nothing. Don't publish your content if you're not going to promote it on social, or you're not going to promote it through link building efforts. Pick a goal for that page and do the work. Otherwise, don't do the work in the first place. Don't create the content. Why waste your time? More content is not better. You need to pitch the stuff to media where applicable. And, for an initial website, you want to do things like get maybe a scholarship link building campaign or a free giveaway campaign. Here's your gas cards. And then you can submit that to millions of giveaway sites, not millions, 50. But attorney profiles, get those links on Avvo, on Martindale, on Justia, on FindLaw. Be everywhere your clients are looking. And then local SEO. Of course, we see the local pack, we see the 3-pack has ads in there now too, of course. But you want to focus on the long-term strategy. You need to build those citations from the data aggregators. Basically, those are the places that are taking your business data and sending that out to a lot of other places. And then those get picked up as well. You want to be on all the lawyer directories. You need a complete and strong Google My Business listing. You want your own photography. Don't use the same photography if you have an option that everybody else uses. Get your own photos that are relevant to your practice area, not just attorney photos. Maybe you need photos that are more relevant to your practice area, or happy clients, things like that. Upload your own photos, and that can be used as a link building tactic as well when people steal them. And geotag those photos. Say, hey, they were taken here at my office. Send those to Google My Business. Upload your firm videos and reinforce the neighborhoods that you serve. What I mean by that is not just adding city names like in the footer, which is what most people will interpret that as. Instead, if you have statistics for the type of law that you're practicing, and again, I am resorting to personal injury in your area, in this neighborhood, maybe we can put a section on that on your website. And or maybe we can create a sub-article that links back to that main page, right? Kind of like that hub and spoke model. But also build neighborhood relevant links. What neighborhood associations, HOA websites can link back to you? Or what link outreach can you do where other people might mention in anchor text, which is the clickable part of the link, your city name? Not the city name, your neighborhood, and more locally relevant signals. And fight spam. If you want to win in local results as of these November 2019 updates, you need to still fight spam. That'll probably never end. I'm jaded. Next is share search, Barnacle SEO. You need to be where everybody is looking for your firm. Okay, if I typed in personal injury lawyer and I see firm website, that's great. Your firm should be number 1. You should see the ads, great. You should be in the local pack, great. But what local listings show up? Do you see a Justia directory? Do you see a FindLaw directory? Do you see Yelp? Okay, make a list of those for your specific area, for your specific keyword, because that will change. Those set websites I mentioned, you might see super lawyers in there one time. It's going to switch, okay? So you need to be focused in there, and you need to be at the top of those directories. Pay for those listings. If you want to dominate, you can pay for those listings. Some of them are going to be expensive, but be everywhere potential clients are looking. And don't forget social. Be there. And those are all impressions. And then paid search. I mean, this is a no-brainer, although it's expensive. But if you want to be the best and you want to be everywhere, here are the paid options that work. Google ads, of course, Bing ads, Facebook ads for lead generation. If you're looking to drive some leads quickly at a potentially lower cost per lead than Google ads, you can do some lead gen work in Facebook. It works. You can do remarketing for all of your visitors. So that means they visited your website, Maybe they didn't contact you, maybe they did, but if they didn't, okay, you're gonna see these ads, maybe these display ads, for example, with your brand or how you can help kind of follow them around. It's a little bit more strict for your money, your life sites, of course, but that's something that you can still do. And then you can do brand plays. Think about your brand at the same time. Pay for LinkedIn text ads and pay for CPM, or no, not CPMs. I think it's cost per lead, cost per acquisition. Because basically, long story short, if you have your brand name and maybe just a little sign of what you in text, and then next to it saying personal injury lawyers or whatever what you do, you can serve that to an audience, a very specified audience in a certain geographic area. And if you're only paying per click, that ad's not relevant for everybody. So not a lot of people are going to click it, but a lot of people are going to see it. It's a brand building exercise. And brand play again on Facebook, these playthrough videos, maybe it costs 15 cents for a playthrough. Well, if it's a minute long video, not everybody might finish that. So front load it with your logo and what you're doing, see if people are going to sit through them. They probably won't, but you're getting a brand impression. People are aware of you and how you help people. And of course, that display advertising, those ads that are following you across. And then nominations and awards. If you want to be the best, if you want to be everywhere, you need to be listed on sites like Best Lawyers, US News and World Report, Super Lawyers, Martindale Hubble, Preeminent Rating, your Avvo 10 score. Once you get all of these awards and you have a bunch of them, let's say like 10 sources, you might be eligible to build a Wikipedia page that's going to stay up. So now when Google's looking at entities, they're looking a lot at Wikipedia. And if they see that your brand has its own page, that's huge. And then maybe you're starting to contribute on Wikipedia and get some edits on important pages. And Google can connect your law firm with entities, and maybe you'll rank better. You will. More brand campaign and link building. After all of this is done, we're still moving forward. These should never stop, okay? We do free cab ride giveaways for some of our clients. These are brand building exercises, these are link building exercises, and these are review generation exercises. All things that are crucial to the best firms that are listed everywhere. So what we do for all major holidays and major metropolitan areas where we're serving clients is we do a free cab ride program. Well, we're going to reimburse you for taking an Uber or a Lyft or a cab. And we set that criteria, we set that budget, we set all that up, but then we pitch that to the media. And the media will sometimes take that. And if they're more likely to take it just in general for any PR tactic, if you package it correctly, have the story, have the press release, have a video, have an image, send that, package that nicely, talk to the right people, whether you're using Muck Rack or you're finding them through manual outreach, send them that, and and also a link to that press release where other people have published it, and you're going to get that pickup. Okay, people are going to take advantage of that. Other websites are going to link because they're going to talk about that, this event that you're having, what you're doing for the community. News might reach out to you because they hear about it. And again, links, brand exposure, sponsored by your firm. You're helping the community. And if those people were happy, they might be willing to give your firm a rating too, or talk about your firm. And that can be repurposed. Maybe you're doing free turkey giveaways on Halloween or Thanksgiving. Maybe you're doing free backpack giveaways for the start of school, or free bike helmet giveaways if you're a bicycle accident firm. Now think about the power of that if all you did was bicycle accidents. Do you see where this is all tying in, all coming together, and you will become the only choice. Now, the more that you do, the harder that's going to be, but you can still do that too. And then drip campaigns. At the end of the day, these should never stop. You need to continually email market to people. And people are always like, oh, I don't want to email people. They're going to unsubscribe. Well, if they're going to unsubscribe, you have a higher quality list. You probably have more engaged subscribers at that point. So that's kind of cool. But you really need to focus on that. One of my friends got a $6 million case just through email marketing. You need to build awareness. You need to build these drip campaigns. And you need to help and keep people engaged in your brand. Become the only choice in your market. Stick to your strategy and build your business. Hope you found this useful. I'm Casey Meraz from Juris Digital. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions.